So this is the Center of Influence marketing strategy from Pinger Systems. Now, as a financial advisor, how do you grow your business? There is, of course, the 2 4-letter words, cold call. There is advertising, or you can send your money off to useless PR firms where the only people who make money off that engagement are the PR executives. But networking enables you to expand your reach, expand your influence, and grow your business. And marketing to CPAs and attorneys is a time-tested way of growing your business quickly. So first, a couple of questions. What is the percentage of affluent investors who find their primary financial advisor through a CPA or an attorney? 68%. Going a little bit further upscale, of the $10 million plus investors, the percentage of investors who find their primary advisor through a CPA or attorney is almost 90%. You are missing a massive opportunity if you are not spending a portion of your time proactively marketing to CPAs and attorneys. Now, the program that I'm about to teach you is rooted in the book Influence. And in this book, 6 influence, or said differently, sales triggers are discussed. These are well-researched ideas from this very popular book. The first is reciprocation. The second is liking. We tend to buy or be influenced from people that we like. There is social proof. There is authority. People tend to buy or be influenced by people that they perceive as being in a place of authority. There is commitment and consistency. And then my least favorite, scarcity, where you're told buy now or the price is going up by 50% on Sunday night. Now, for the purposes of this program, we're going to get rid of scarcity and we're going to get rid of liking, because those aren't really the influence triggers that are going to help you grow your CPA and attorney network. So this system, like every system inside of the Pinger Systems universe, is simple. I've narrowed it down to 3 steps. First, I'm going to teach you how to build a robust pipeline. Then I'm going to teach you about this concept of binary profiling, and then how to build a system that delivers constant contact. So let's start with the robust pipeline. First, you can find COI targets from your current clients. In fact, in my experience, most advisors can stop building their pipeline after they start mining their current clients. Here's how it works. You call or send an email to your client. You can even outsource this to someone on your staff. And all you say is, we don't have your CPA and attorney on file. Who are you using? Now keep in mind, we're not asking for permission to call them. We're just asking who they use. Now, reaching out to that center of influence, here's what you say. We have a client in common, and it looks like we may have very similar types of clients. May I swing by for a few minutes? Nothing client related. Now, let me be clear. Those who say no to that would have said no to anything you said in requesting a meeting. So you just move on from there. Don't overthink the language to the COI as you're trying to get an appointment. Now, after you've exhausted all of the COI targets from your current clients, go to your network and your friends. And here's the simple language that you use. My clients like introductions to competent advisors. Who do you use as your CPA and attorney? And then once you figure out who they're using, simple outreach to the COI that says, I got your name from one of your clients, Bob Smith. We appear to have very similar types of clients. May I swing by for a few minutes? Nothing client related. Again, it doesn't really matter what you say, because if they would not take the meeting, it would not have mattered what that language is. You just want to ferret through and get the appointment. The second step in this 3-step process is binary profiling. You just need the answers to 2 questions. 1, Do they refer to financial advisors? And that answer is binary, yes or no. And then the second question, will they engage with you? And the answer from that is yes or no. If the answer to either one of those questions is no, you're out the door. You're not going to waste your time with them. So when you get the appointment at the beginning of the conversation, and I'm going to give you the layout for the quick 15-minute introductory meeting in just a second, but you want to work this in at the very beginning of the conversation. I thought it could be mutually beneficial for us to connect. Over the past couple of years, which financial advisors have you referred clients to and liked their quality of work? The COI is going to say, well, I don't refer to financial advisors, at which case you will wrap the meeting up and go out the door and not waste another minute of your time with them, or they'll start a conversation about what they have found to be effective. Now, experience has taught me that most advisors at this stage will say, well, if they're already working with somebody from Goldman Sachs and Merrill Lynch and this independent RIA, this is probably a waste of my time, and you couldn't be more incorrect. This means that they refer to financial advisors and you want to get in that line. Now, the second question, will they engage with you? At the end, say, our 15 minutes are up. I'm going to send you a book that I've been reading on our industry. I'll be back over in this part of town next quarter. May we schedule some time together? Now, this language uses the influence trigger of reciprocation. You're offering to give them something, a book on the industry, and in exchange, you're asking for another meeting. If they don't want the book or they don't want another meeting, all you've done is taken them out of your pipeline and you don't waste any more time with that COI. Now, as for the agenda for this quick 15-minute introductory meeting, when you get in, quickly confirm the agenda and that you're only going to take up 15 minutes of their time. Open with question 1, and depending upon the response, if it's positive, work in question 2 before you head on out the door. Now, the third step in this process is constant contact. And if you've already been through the Pinger Systems training, you've seen this slide before. And in there, we teach you how to become an influencer in your market. But when you're dealing with COIs, the messaging is actually a little bit different because it is not how well the COIs know you, it's how well they think you know them. And that is only going to be done with constant communications that are customized to their particular practice and their needs. So if you recall from the Pinger Systems training, we like to keep things simple and we use the rule of 4. And the rule of 4 simply stated that you want to label anybody in your Pinger system P1, 2, 3, or 6, and that will tell you the number of months in between pings. Now, this speaks to the influence trigger of commitment and consistency, which will help you build that connection with these COIs. And I have to tell you that if you're really marketing in the COI space, make sure that they're a P1. You want to be touching them at least once a month and getting an appointment with them once a quarter to build that connection. As a reminder, when their ping comes up in your schedule, there are 8 basic types of pings. The traditional call, email, text. If you want to go old school, I highly recommend the handwritten note or letter. A lot of advisors share with me that they do it, but when I press them on the handwritten notes, they're really not putting them out at any type of meaningful volume. So you can separate yourself from the competition by delivering handwritten letters and notes. Now, because of the powerful platforms that social media give you, you can now go on and ping them through any of these platforms by liking, commenting, sharing, or messaging. Now, this speaks to the influence triggers of social proof, because once they start connecting with you on social media, they will see that you've built a network. You are a reputable professional. And if you've developed the authoritative messaging that we taught you how to do in the Pinger system, you are seen as an authority in your network. There are two other types of touches that we've seen be effective when marketing to the COI space. The first is the drive-by. That's where you've called on somebody several times, you're starting to build a relationship, and then you have something of value, probably a physical copy of a report that you could go and drop by their office because you just happen to be in the neighborhood. That you'll do on a case-by-case basis when it makes sense and you feel the relationship is there. Now, when the relationship really starts gaining some traction, highly recommend an annual wow gift. An example of this would be you find out your COI is heading over to Italy for a 10-day vacation with his wife. You drop off or send a book that talks about the different types of wines that you can find across the Italian countryside. All of this needs to be packaged into your pinger system. Now, we can build a custom pinger system for you at our company, or you can head over to pingersystems.com and watch our free training videos where we'll teach you how to build your own pinger system using Outlook. So now I'm going to teach you how to implement this new COI marketing system into your current pinger system if you have one set up. So for illustrative purposes, here's my profile. As you set up your COI, make sure you grab as many social media contacts as you can, phone numbers, email addresses, physical address. And we want to tag your COI contacts so that we can segment them properly as you go forward. So we've created a tag called COI Target. And as you probably recall, if you're truly targeting a center of influence, you're not going to gain any traction unless you're pinging them once a month. So we want to assign them the P1 tag. Now, once that is set up, we want to also add any background information that would be helpful for our next meeting. So remember, if you're using the mobile app for the pinger system, as you're walking into the meeting, if you forgot to do your prep, you can simply open up your app and find any information that you add in this background information section. So once you have that information in there, click Save, and it will follow this contact around on whatever device you're using. So now we've profiled the COI, we've tagged them, we've added our notes. Now we have to set the system up to remind us when it's time to ping them. We head over to the task function on the right, and for the description of the task, there's always going to be a ping. Then I'm going to set the date for today so you can see what it looks like on the master screen. It's going to repeat once a month. And then the category, and this is important, is COI Target. And the reason for that is when you get your morning run of the ping schedule for the day, you want to make sure you can ascertain the highest value pings that you need to do, and hopefully being identified as a COI target will move them up to the top of the list for you. So you can see over here on the right-hand side, I'm set today for a COI target ping. So when I go into my dashboard, you can see here are my pings for the day, and I have 2 COI targets so that I can prioritize my day.